What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. So like I said, I think it was yesterday or the day before, we have a lot of trailers to get through from this past week, and today is no exception. We have probably another, just for today alone, another 4 trailers to get through, and then tomorrow we have another at least 2 trailers to get through, and that's assuming nothing else drops today. Otherwise, we'll focus more on some of the other news that's been coming out. But I do like reviewing trailers. I do like it when trailers come out, and you've heard me say this before. I'm going to sound like a broken record, and I will continue to sound like a broken record, that I do enjoy when trailers come out that aren't always big budget, big studio, big funded films. There's nothing wrong with those. We cover those here. We talk about those films here. But I do think a lot of other great films get looked over because they're either indie, independent, low budget, mid-level budget, films. I think a lot of great ones get passed over. Now, that's not to say every trailer we review on every film or TV series is going to be a banger. But we don't know, right? That's why we take a look at the trailers. That's why we react to them. We don't deep dive into them. I purposefully don't do that. We don't watch the trailer and then go back and then pull up the trailer again and then start pausing it every 2 or 3 seconds trying to dissect it. I purposefully don't do that because I think that just gets a little too much in my opinion. I try to catch everything I can on the first viewing that we show here. And then obviously I always provide the links to anything we pull up and view in the description of my videos if you want to go back and rewatch them to do those types of things. Otherwise, I don't necessarily like doing that. I just think it just takes a little bit too much time. I prefer just to watch it full through and then react from there or give my thoughts from there. So for this one, we have a film called Bury Me When I'm Dead. This is the trailer for a psychological horror inspired by possession and Jacob's Ladder. So let's jump right into the article as we always do, and then we'll pull up the trailer and see what this one's going to be about. I think on this one, and again, I always check timestamps on trailers just to get an idea of how long they are. I think this one's about 1.5 minutes, give or take. So, I mean, you could make an argument, I guess, to say it's just a teaser, but they're calling it a trailer, so we're going to run with that. All right, so after failing to keep his wife's dying wish, a man believes he's being haunted for revenge and Bury Me When I'm Dead. The psychological horror thriller will be released on VOD in the US on July 18th, so roughly 3 weeks, give or take, from now, and in the UK on July 28th, so roughly a month. Via Vertical Entertainment, it marks the feature debut of writer-director Sebald Krebs. I hope I'm pronouncing that even remotely close. Sebald, who cites possession and Jacob's Ladder among his inspirations. So we have the synopsis here. The film follows Henry as his life spirals out of control. When Catherine is diagnosed with brain cancer, they travel to her childhood home where he promises to bury her in a remote forest. Meanwhile, Henry's been keeping a secret. They always do. They always are keeping a secret. That seems to be the you can't make a horror film without somebody having a secret of their past, of something happening. It just seems to be one of those tent poles that have to be in a horror film for some reason. Their friend Rebecca is pregnant with his child. Okay, after Catherine's sudden death, Henry breaks his promise and returns her body to the city under threat from her powerful father Gary. The weight of Henry's betrayal to Catherine and fear of her overbearing father pushes him to the edge as his life quickly begins to unravel. A series of increasingly strange and devastating events lead him to believe that Catherine's ghost is seeking vengeance. With danger lurking around every corner, Henry resorts to desperate measures to protect himself, Rebecca, and their unborn child. Okay, so I mean, seems, just based on the synopsis, seems pretty basic, seems pretty mid for a psychological horror film. Now, that's not to say what we see is far better than what's being described, because that's happened plenty of times before where I've said what I think it was Up the Hill or Went Up the Hill. I think that was a film we did a trailer review on last week. And when we read the description, I mean, go back and watch the video. I think I laughed at the description thinking this can't be good. And when we watched the trailer, complete 180. I was fully hooked, fully bought in. Can't wait to see that film, because if the name of the film doesn't give it away, Up the Hill or Went Up the Hill, The character names are Jack and Jill. Jack and Jill went up the hill, so hopefully you know that reference. So I thought that was quite unique. But again, unless this trailer doesn't match the description, seems pretty mid, just face value. So let's keep going. We have the names of who's in it. We don't read off names anymore. You want to see names, you can read them there for yourself. Bury Me When I'm Dead is produced by Plenty Good, Slow Peach, and 88/90 Productions. All right, so we have the trailer here. And it looks like, okay, we do have a movie poster, so let's keep going. All right, that's a pretty interesting poster. I mean, you guys know me when it comes to posters. I don't necessarily like all, like, I mean, get rid of all this down here, the names of actors, actresses, and all this other stuff. Otherwise, I mean, I'm not sure what to make of this. I mean, again, it says it's a psychological horror film, but this is one of the more unique ones when it comes to the color palette and blending. I mean, you have a character, you have one character back here, you have him up here, and the blending of them kind of together. So, yeah, I'm not. I mean, again, it's not your usual movie poster. So I imagine this has got to probably be the two that are alive, and this has got to be maybe the dead wife, or vice versa. Maybe that's the dead wife. Who knows? All right, so anything else? Nope, that's it. So let's get back to the top of this article, as we always do. Now let's pull up this trailer. And like again, I'm hoping that the trailer is far better than the description. So let's see what it's going to be about.
We can go anywhere in the world, and you want to go to Albany.
And Cleveland.
Great.
New York City.
Yes, I haven't been to either.
Oh my God, you're really gonna love it. This is my fault. I did something. She's punishing me.
Who?
Catherine.
Made a promise. It was her dying wish. Then you broke that promise. There should be consequences for that.
And guess what? Things are happening to me. Consequences.
You're gonna tell her what she wants to hear.
Ghost stuff.
If something went down, anything, I can help.
We had a deal.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Fuck me! Don't be mad at me.
Okay, so I'm not really sure what to. So that was a little bit less. It wasn't a minute 30. It's a minute 20 seconds. So 10 seconds less than what I said. So I'm not really sure what to make of. I don't feel that the. I don't feel that the description from the video or the article really matched up to the trailer. I mean, we did hear some of the lines, right? As far as from the father-in-law or the father, the betrayal. We saw that. I was not expecting the trailer to open up with the fact that she gets ran over or hit by an ambulance, of all things, an ambulance. But then his reaction to just really stand there in shock, which if you haven't seen The Boys, the first episode of season 1 of The Boys, which I imagine many of you have on Amazon Prime, as Huey is standing there and his girlfriend gets taken out and he's just standing there in shock. That's what that scene right here reminded me of when she got hit by the ambulance. Right after that, though, because, I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, she didn't die there. I mean, I can't imagine that's how she died. Unless that scene, the order of this trailer of the scenes is not in the order of the film, because she gets hit by this ambulance, which you think would have killed her. But then as the trailer goes on, we see her sitting at a kitchen table. We see her lying in a hospital bed from, maybe from the brain cancer. So again, the trailer doesn't maybe seem to follow the sequence of events. And her hair is much longer, so we might be seeing maybe some flashback scenes. I do see whereas after that happened and after we see the initial shock of him just continually standing there, we see then the trailer start to pick up a bit where I'm not sure, maybe she has had a miscarriage, because we saw a small graphic scene that could have make you believe that. We see the funeral. We see him taking some pills. Who knows what that's for? Maybe it's to keep him under control. We see him in the car screaming at something. Not sure what that is. Not sure who might be out to try to take him out, because we do see a firearm introduced a couple of times in here, and then at the end of the trailer, he's just driving in the dark. So I see the psychological aspect here of him having a breakdown of what's going on, but we don't see where he's, as the article described, him being haunted by her. And let me go back to as they described it in the article. Life's going out of control with danger lurking around every corner. Henry resorts. Okay, so the weight of Henry's betrayal to Catherine and fear of overbearing thought pushed him to edge as life quickly unravels. A series of increasingly strange and devastating events lead him to believe that Catherine's ghost is seeking vengeance. So we don't see that. We don't see directly or indirectly those events. And when he's in the car screaming at someone who would be sitting in the passenger seat, I'm not sure if we are going to be seeing Catherine and she's dead, kind of like the whole Sixth Sense scenario where we see them and only he can see her but nobody else can, or he's just screaming it at nothing and just believes that she's there. I imagine it'd be the latter instead of the former. This one looks interesting. I'm intrigued to see how the story unravels versus as I would say, oh, I'm so excited to see this. I wouldn't say that. I say I'm more curious as to how this one plays out. It's one of those ones where I think you want to watch it to see how the puzzle gets put together. I think we did have a date on this one, so July 18th again for the US, July 28th for the UK, and that's going to be, I think it was VOD and digital. So I'll add this one to my list, and we'll come back to this one. Again, I have more of a curiosity how they put this film together versus me outright saying this one's a banger and this one's going to be great. So let me know down in the comment section what you thought about Bury Me When I'm Dead. Again, it's a psychological horror thriller. Drop a comment in the comment section, and if you haven't done so already, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, we'll see you at the next one. Later.